Welcome back to Next Up Haunted Adventures. Today we're reviewing Rotten Manor in Holly, Michigan for 2022 scare season. The price does vary per person. You can get a combo pass for $40. I highly recommend it. It does not include the hayride. That would be an additional $25 per person to go on the hayride, which I do also recommend. I've been here before. I was very impressed. And since then, they've added so much, guys. They've added so much. I went on opening night, and I go on opening night because if anything's gonna go wrong, it's gonna happen on opening night. And if there's very few mishaps, then that bodes well for the rest of the scare season. So let's talk about the front entrance for a little bit. The place was built from the ground up. As I've mentioned before, it was just an empty field. You don't see places like this anymore, so just pulling up is an impressive sight for any haunt enthusiast. Actors here will get very close, but they will not touch you, okay? You don't have to worry about being touched. They will lurk outside the portable toilets as well, and they will shake them while you're inside using it. So just so you're aware, that's something a lot of people probably won't appreciate. I did it. They happened to do it to me the first time I went, so I didn't really care. There's parking staff there to direct you, so when you pull into the field, they can tell you where to park. They had a little bit of confrontation. They didn't seem to know where they wanted cars to park, so it took a little bit of time. But hopefully they'll be able to figure that out as the scare season continues. And I do have to say, after you're parked, the Rotten Manor, very easy to find. You can just see it from where you park. The forested hayride can be a little bit confusing to find, especially since some of the employees and the haunters refuse to talk or even point you in the right direction. There are ways to handle giving directions without breaking character, but it was opening night, so I can give this a pass. They'll probably be able to communicate better as the season goes on, especially like when it hits October and prime time. It did seem like a lot of the hunters and employees were confused on where stuff was because they had additional stuff that they did not advertise on their website. So there were a couple things we weren't aware of, and some of the additional attractions available we weren't aware of either. So let's get right into it and talk about the Rotten Manor. The Rotten Manor main attraction features many rooms, tunnels, blackout areas, moving floors, squishy floors, waterworks. Waterworks are not my favorite thing to go to a haunted house, but you know it happens. Just bring a friend to use as a shield or prepare to get wet. The animatronics are really good. Actors, there's fantastic space utilization, guys. A lot of work and love went into this attraction. It really shows. And while I've seen some of the same decor and similar features and used in like other haunts, Rotten Manor seamlessly blended them, and for some of the best space utilization I've seen in a haunt. The animatronics were timed appropriately, they reset quickly, the noise that would have been made was covered up with other sound effects and music. And the few flaws that probably would have shown up did not because of the good use of fog and lighting effects. They covered up those imperfections. And then be prepared for some physical challenges while in the manor. And what I mean by this is being squeezed, and some of you would like claustrophobic stuff. You've probably experienced this in other haunts. They have these tight like airbag situations. It's like being burst through a canal, and they squeeze you from the sides and the tops and kind of force you into the walls. There's inclines, places you have to squat down, so just be prepared if you're going in. Some of the things you're going to come across. Now we're going to get into the forest. The forest my group actually liked the most was the forest in the asylum. I liked both of them. I can see why people would like the forest more for this year, though it certainly had its physical challenges. I got blasted in the face with water. I had to wade through more balls than anyone ever could. Part of the fun of the physical parts of the forest were that they really allow you to drop your guard because you become very confused on finding your way through the challenge, and then you become open to a scare. The actors in the more physical areas knew exactly what to do and when to do it. There are a lot of inclines, dipping into spaces, wading and crawling over balls of varying sizes, rope climbing, ricketing pathing, so much. And honestly, there is another path you can take that's less physically challenging. I chose with my group to take the more challenging approach, which seeing the actor in the ball area, which I hope anyone who goes will leave a comment about the ball area, he was just bouncing everywhere. I was impressed. Like, I don't know how he did this. But man, that was incredible. Kudos to you. Some of these actors in these areas were just fantastic, and I don't know how they did what they did, but it was amazing. There is a separate path, like I said, that is less challenging, but I'm glad to have done the challenge with my friends. It was really nice and different and exhilarating. It's not something I generally come across in a haunted house. It's just like, oh yeah, just do all these little obstacles, squeeze into this tunnel. It's fine. Ended up going kind of ass first through one of the like claustrophobia areas where they kind of squeeze you with those like bags, just because we got turned around. So I was like forced into a squat position because I was too tall for it, and kind of just went ass first and came out ass first. Ass first. So yeah, that was fun. The path outside the asylum is really nice, and the actors prefer the silent stalk here, so they're going to be the ones that, especially with any bigger groups and your friends might dip behind a little bit, they're going to get in the middle. They're going to be just there, so when you turn around to say hi to your friend, it's not your friend anymore, it's an actor, it's a haunter. There are lots of scenes and buildings to go through, and many of them are very well done. You may get cut off from your group at times, but not for very long. There's a thing that I like to refer to as the bondage pig man. You will know if you go. It's a very interesting little scene done, and my friends enjoyed it. Just gotta run and get past them. It's fine. I really enjoyed the doll room in the bakery area. You'll see what I mean when you go. I hope you can make it. And the attention to detail, including the smell, is wonderful. I'll leave it up to you whether you think it's good or bad. Our group had varying opinions of whether the smell was good or bad, but we agreed it was well done. So let's talk about the hayride, because that wasn't there when I originally went. I like the chill atmosphere of the hayride. There was a lot of fun jokes, more water, and spooky little scenes. I don't think the hayride would scare most people. It is still fun, and there are areas where the scenery is impressive. Not everything was working when I went, but most was, and actors seemed to have fun, which is very important. I love the use of the giant skeletons. I'd say it's what I expect of a hayride for the most part, and I really appreciate the lighting effects throughout, and I hope they can continue to work on this aspect of the haunt one day. And then we'll move on next to the Midway, and let's talk about the Midway. This is becoming more popular with other haunts. It's generally used for food and drink and merchandise vendors, because going through the haunt can be thirsty and hungry work, and it's really great to be that and sell merch. Get your name out there. As we were walking and staying around for long periods of time, and that, like I said, I can get to you. These are still very wise to have. And they also have carnival games, because throughout the haunt they do have references to carnival stuff. So having the games, there's also a lot of fun. It can kind of give you a break from some of the scares, but there are roamers there, and they will get you more than likely. There's some really nice photo opportunities, guys. Maybe some of the actors will take photos with you if they're allowed to. Sometimes it happens. What I found interesting is there's also a small like 3D style haunt, a maze, and zombie paintball available, and these were not at all mentioned on their website, and I'm not sure why, and they were not also at all mentioned at the ticket booth. Which you would think if you want to buy tickets to these, they would have them at the ticket booth. We didn't see that these were available. And when we asked around, we got no answers. And the ticket booth, like I said, didn't list them. It wasn't until we went to concessions at the end of the night and I wanted to get a beanie that we saw that the prices for those things were listed in price separately. I do feel like it would be beneficial for them to wrap that into a combo package with everything. I feel like these would be best listed on their website and at their ticket booths so people are aware, because most people didn't seem to know that they were a thing until we got there, and then where do you buy tickets, and no one could point us in the right direction. I would have brought more cash to do those had I known about them. They're also working on an old-timey vintage-style theater for a variety of immersive horror-themed performances. I did see that it is not up and running at the time of opening night, but I was told they are hoping that it will be up and running for October of this year, so 2022 for the scare season. I really hope it does. It looks really cool, and I think it'll be a great idea. So I'm really hoping that works out for them. So let's go over some of the highlights. The actors in both haunts knew the way very clearly and navigated perfectly to try scares in different rooms. The actors were clearly having fun and most stayed in character. I really appreciated that, and that does include the roamers that are outside the haunt. This place was built from the ground up, and it looks amazing, especially at night when they have all the lights on, the music's going, guys. The attention to detail, the utilization of space, the theme, the lighting, the animatronics, especially that werewolf animatronic, you will see if you go. The actors, the costumes, the makeup, the claustrophobia, the immersion, the scenery, the ambience, props, and the level of physical exertion are all really good highlights for me. Some of the main recommendations that I would make would be navigations at times was very difficult, and there wasn't always actors to help guide us and others into the right area. Hence, many groups ran into one another and mistook each other for actors whilst in the blackout areas. We did come across that another group thought we were actors because we were dressed in darker clothes and it was like you can't see. And then so they were scared of us. And maybe try to mitigate by adding small lights or additional actors to kind of help guide the way. But overall, the amount of actors did feel just a little light compared to previous years. However, it was opening night. This was to be expected. And please, please advertise your other attractions on your site and list them at the ticket booth so people are aware. And you can make more money this way. You can maybe improve some of the signage, whether it be more signage or bigger signage, or have employees and actors point people in the right direction when they ask for help, or look like they are in need of directional assistance so they know where to go after the manor. The parking lot staff needs to guide cars better and not insult the people coming to the haunt. This was a bad first impression, and you don't want people leaving because they were insulted. You want them running back to their cars in fear from the haunt or having been fulfilled from an amazing experience. If you've been to Rotten Manor, please let me know what you thought in the comments below, and like, comment, and subscribe for more.